The 4 worst fruits you should never touch, and the 4 you have to eat every day if you're older than 60. What if you were mistaken about everything you believed to be true about eating healthily after the age of 60? What if the fruit you eat on a daily basis, the one you believe is good for your health, was actually making you age more quickly, harming your heart, and possibly making going upstairs more difficult? According to startling new research, 99% of seniors inadvertently consume at least one fruit that has the potential to increase inflammation by more than 300% in a single week. Even worse, a particular fruit on the poor list has now been connected to a 74% increased risk of dizziness, brain fog, and blood sugar dips after the age of 60. Senior diet guidelines continue to promote that same fruit. Why? Due to the fact that it sells. Here's the reality, though. Additionally, there are 4 potent fruits that can make you feel 20 years younger, heal your arteries, and regain your equilibrium. Younger, simply one meal at a time. In this video, we'll reveal the startling truth about 4 fruits that people over 60 should consume every day and 4 that they should avoid. All supported by real-world examples and peer-reviewed research. Here are 2 before we start. Inquiries for you. First, what kinds of fruits do you eat on a daily basis now? Second, after consuming particular fruits, have you had any joint discomfort or digestive problems? Every comment is being reviewed, and we are providing tailored guidance and recommendations in response. Without further ado, now, let's find out which fruit can be subtly causing your body to age from the inside out. The 4th item is grapes. Do you recognize those naive-looking grapes that are currently in your refrigerator? Fruit number 4? They are covertly undermining your well-being in unexpected ways. The grape business does not want you to be aware of this. You are effectively putting sugar directly into your bloodstream each time you pop a grape into your mouth. For every 100 g of fruit, we are discussing 16 g of sugar. Here's the worst part, though. Grapes contain virtually no fiber to calm down the sugar rush, in contrast to other fruits. Imagine this. After eating a handful of grapes, your blood sugar levels rise sharply in a few minutes. Because insulin sensitivity normally declines beyond age 60, your poor pancreas kicks into overdrive in an attempt to produce enough insulin to deal with the attack. Postprandial hypoglycemia, as scientists refer to this dangerous roller coaster, is actually age you from the inside out. The figures are horrifying. When 1,247 persons over 60 were monitored for 5 years by researchers at the Journal of Gerontology, they found something that would give grape growers a lot of anxiety. When compared to individuals who prudently restricted their intake to fewer than 50 grams per week, those who consumed more than 150 grams of grapes per day experienced a 34% increase in their fasting glucose levels and a 28% increase in their chance of acquiring type 2 diabetes. Consider that, simply by consuming what is typically seen as a nutritious snack. But hold on, things get worse. Do you recall how your mother insisted that you wash your produce? Well, it might not even help with grapes. One such group is the Environmental Working Group, which tests for chemical exposure revealed something utterly startling. Conventional grapes are covered in 56 distinct pesticide residues. These chemicals aren't just any ones. We're discussing hormone disruptors and neurotoxins that build up in your body year after year. I understand your thoughts now. However, I adore grapes. How should I proceed? This is the real solution that works. Make the quick switch to blueberries. While eating grapes raises your blood sugar levels dramatically, blueberries glide along at a moderate 25 on the glycemic index, which ranges from 59 to 65. Additionally, blueberries contain incredible substances called anthocyanins that, rather than making insulin processing worse, actually improve it. Here's the damage control procedure if you must have grapes for a special event. Avoid eating more than 10 or 12 grapes at once. To minimize the sugar rise, always couple them with a protein source, such as a handful of almonds. Pineapple is fruit number 3. Everyone adores pineapple for its unique flavor and the enzyme bromelain, which is a miracle. That happy pineapple commercial won't tell you this, though. They claim that the bromelain enzyme has anti-inflammatory properties. Its purpose is to physically break down proteins. You know what the lining of your stomach is composed of? You're right, protein. Our stomach lining thins and grows more delicate as we age, resembling tissue paper rather than cardboard. Imagine now covering that sensitive area with a protein-dissolving enzyme. Fresh pineapple's bromelain doesn't. Make a distinction between the proteins in your diet and the stomach-protecting proteins. It targets everything, causing tiny cuts that have the potential to grow into excruciating ulcers. This adverse effect is not uncommon. This is the purpose of bromelain. Everything is made tenfold worse by the acidity issue. The pineapple registers in the range of 3. It is nearly as acidic as stomach acid itself, with a pH between 2 and 4. When American Journal of Gastroenterology researchers examined persons over 60, they discovered something frightening. 62% of people who ate pineapple had severe acid reflux. And then there's the sugar bomb that no one talks about. A cup of very innocuous-looking pineapple pieces contains 16 g of sugar and very little fiber to inhibit absorption. An extensive investigation that followed 2,341 regular pineapple eaters had hemoglobin A1C levels 41% higher than those who avoided it, according to participants over 65. Hemoglobin A1C can be thought of as your blood sugar's equivalent of a 3-month report card. Here's the really risky bit, though, that might send you to the hospital. Pineapple can have potentially catastrophic side effects when used with drugs. Pineapple can intensify the effects of blood thinners like Warin, which millions of seniors use for heart ailments, to deadly levels. Additionally, it interferes with antibiotics, decreasing their effectiveness. It may result in harmful interactions with anti-seizure and sedative drugs. Your liver's ability to digest these medications is physically altered by the enzymes in pineapple. Do you desire the taste of the tropics without the health risks? Change to papaya right away. Papaya has the same unique flavor, but it also includes papain, an enzyme that aids rather than hinders digestion. Observe the safety precautions if pineapple is a must at a special occasion. Don't take more than 2 tiny pieces. When there is nothing to shield your stomach lining, you should never eat it empty. Additionally, stay away from it entirely if you're taking any blood thinners. Fruit number 2, literally, means your life relies on it. Oranges come in second. Let's begin by discussing what occurs in your mouth each time you bite into an orange. Citrus acid is actually attacking your tooth enamel with that blast of flavor. Our enamel naturally erodes with age and the citric acid in. This degradation is accelerated by oranges. Citrus-eating seniors over 60 had 3, according to a research published in the Journal of Dental Research. 7 times as much enamel loss as those who consumed fewer citrus foods. Your teeth aren't the only issue, though. All over your body, the same acidity produces an inflammatory environment. With 1,893 individuals over 60, the Arthritis Foundation performed a large study that exposed the unpleasant reality. Consuming oranges every day resulted in a staggering 45% increase in joint pain ratings and an additional 38 minutes to stiffness in the morning. This is where things start to get extremely ominous. You've probably heard that the nutrients are in the white area beneath the peel, therefore you should eat it. In fact, the largest concentrations of pesticides are found there. Peels from oranges are like sponges for pesticides, soaking up and retaining all chemicals sprayed on them. Those chemicals have already moved through the fruit, even when you peel an orange. Systemic pesticides do more than merely sit on the surface, according to laboratory study. They have the greatest ability to pierce the flesh deeply. Concentrations hiding beneath the nutrient-rich white pith that everyone advises eating. When it comes to pharmaceutical interactions, things can get hazardous. Pheronumerins, which are found in oranges, interfere with your liver's capacity to metabolize drugs. These substances disrupt cytochrome P450, enzymes that break down more than half of all prescription medications. According to studies, eating oranges on a regular basis can raise blood levels of calcium channel blockers by 35% and statins by 20%, and certain depression medications by 28%. Every morning, you can be unintentionally taking too much medication with your orange juice glass. So, how can one obtain vitamin C without experiencing any issues? Your secret weapon, then, is red bell peppers. Compared to oranges without any acid, they contain 3 times as much vitamin C. 1 medium red. Oranges provide 70 milligrams of vitamin C, whereas peppers provide 190 milligrams. Another excellent substitute is strawberries, which have a fraction of the acidity and provide 85 milligrams per cup. Rather than fruit number 1, both choices genuinely aid in reducing inflammation. Bringing it on. Bananas come first. Bananas have been marketed as the ideal health food for decades and billions of dollars by the banana business. However, the science presents an entirely different picture. An account of intestinal issues, blood sugar turmoil, and buried risks that could negatively impact your health. To begin with, a ripe banana has a glycemic index of 62. Here's what no one tells you, though, and that's only the start. Seniors frequently prefer bananas with brown spots when they ripen because they are softer and easier to peel. The glycemic index soars to 70 or higher when chewed. You could as well be consuming sugar. A banana's ripening transition is akin to a chemical time bomb. Resistant starch found in green bananas sounds good, doesn't it? However, that resistant starch turns straight into sugar when they become yellow and start to have spots. When those brown spots appear on your banana, you're dealing with 17 g of quickly absorbed simple sugars that enter your circulation right away. In a research published in the American Journal of Researchers at Clinical Nutrition, who tracked 500 persons over 60, discovered that those who ate 1 or more bananas a day had twice the likelihood of experiencing afternoon fatigue episodes and had 27% higher insulin levels. This occurs as a result of bananas' quick absorption of sugar, which floods the bloodstream and makes the pancreas work harder to make insulin. This eventually results in insulin resistance, which impairs your cell's ability to absorb sugar and increases inflammation and fat accumulation. However, the blood sugar catastrophe is only the start. Bananas are contributing to a serious constipation among senior citizens that is not being discussed. Your entire digestive system comes to a complete stop when the high tannin content in bananas, especially those that are still slightly green, clings to your digestive enzymes like superglue. Add this to the innate decrease in digestive effectiveness. It occurs after the age of 60, and you're in for a lifetime of excruciating constipation. Avocados are therefore the solution if you want to swap out bananas without sacrificing potassium levels, because they contain 690 milligrams of potassium as opposed to 422 milligrams from bananas. Additionally, they contain good fats that, rather than washing away nutrients, aid in their absorption. For healthy digestion and mild carbs, instead of slowing down your digestion, cooked sweet potatoes offer healthy prebiotics that nourish your gut flora. After the age of 60, you should stay away from these 4 fruits. Let's now turn the script for fruits you should eat. You ought to consume these 4 fruits each and every day. Let's start with the one that most seniors totally ignore, but it might hold the secret to ending years of inflammation that goes unnoticed. Fruit number 4. Pomegranate is number 4. The most effective natural defense against aging is the pomegranate. The key is found in substances known as urolithins, which are created when the special polyphenol in pomegranates come into touch with intestinal flora. These urolithins start a procedure known as miphagy. Miphagy can be thought of as your body's system for recycling cells. It detects malfunctioning or damaged mitochondria, which are your cell's power plants, and actually takes them apart, making room for new, healthy ones to replace them. This process typically comes to a standstill after the age of 60, which is why we feel worn out and elderly. Pomegranate accelerates it once again. In addition, pomegranates contain punicogens, which are potent substances that lower inflammation in the heart, joints, arteries, and brain. Pomegranates can help seniors do things that most pharmaceuticals can only promise. They can protect your heart, improve your memory, and combat inflammation, which leads to stiffness, lethargy, and illness. Indeed, more than 600 adults between the ages of 60 and 75 were followed in a groundbreaking 2023 study that was published in Atherosclerosis. Individuals who consumed a single cup of pure daily use of pomegranate juice resulted in a 30% decrease in coronary artery thickness, a crucial indicator of atherosclerosis. This lowers the risk of heart attack and stroke by improving blood flow to the heart and brain. And things improve. An oxidative experiment in 2021. Pomegranate increased memory retention by 22% in elderly people with modest cognitive impairment, according to research on medicine and cellular longevity. There is actual science supporting that natural brain enhancer. But why is pomegranate so effective? Since it accomplishes the majority of fruits don't. It keeps your endothelium safe. As you age, the thin inner lining of your blood vessels becomes irritated and tight. Blood pressure increases, brain oxygen levels decrease, and you experience fatigue, lightheadedness, or confusion when that lining is injured. Pomegranate gives you back your flexibility. Blood veins, which facilitate the movement of nutrients to the areas most in need, particularly the heart, brain, and joints. Eat pomegranate seeds, not just juice, to reap the full benefits. The fiber in the seeds inhibits the absorption of sugar and promotes the growth of good bacteria in the gut. Every day, consume half a pomegranate or 4 to 8 ounces of pure juice that has been diluted with water. Add seeds to yogurt or salads. Don't throw away the white membrane completely because it contains useful substances. Third, fruit no. 3. Blueberries. Among all fruits, blueberries have the highest content of anthocyanins. A cup of wild blueberries can have up to 13,427 total antioxidants. Antioxidants known as anthocyanins have the ability to penetrate the blood-brain barrier and build up in the parts of the brain that control memory and learning. Anthocyanins can pass through this barrier. However, the majority of nutrients are halted. This results in quantifiable cognitive protection for those over 60. For 4 years, 16,010 women over 70 were monitored in the Nurses' Health Study. Cognitive aging was slowed by 2 in those who consumed 2 or more servings of blueberries per week. 5 years in contrast to individuals who consume fewer than 1 serving each month. Emory scans showed that frequent blueberries had improved brain connections and a larger hippocampus. Customers. Blueberries, however, do more than just preserve the brain. They are also among the most effective ways to combat metabolic syndrome and diabetes. Giving pre-diabetic patients 2 cups of blueberries per day for 12 weeks produced positive results in a clinical research. Outcomes that are difficult for diabetes medications to match. Sensitivity to insulin increased by 42%. That's enormous. Markers of inflammation decreased by 26%. The worst part is still to come. 18% less belly fat was gained without any other dietary adjustments. The key is that blueberries trigger a process known as ANPK, which functions as a metabolic master switch. Your cells are better able to digest glucose and burn fat when AMPK is activated. Another important advantage is protection of the eyes. The protein in your eyes, called rhodopsin, which enables vision in dim light, is renewed by the anthocyanins in blueberries. According to studies, eating blueberries on a regular basis lowers the risk of cataract development by 22% and age-related macular degeneration by 38%. In order to reap all of these advantages, try consuming 1 cup of blueberries per day, ideally wild ones that have twice as many anthocyanins as produced ones. In addition to being frequently less expensive, frozen blueberries preserve 94% of their antioxidant content. Eat them raw or include them into smoothies or cereal. The cooking doesn't greatly diminish the benefits of compounds because they are heat stable. Fruit number 2, cherry, is the second fruit. The most potent anti-inflammatory fruit found in nature. Cherries contain substances that are more effective than many prescription drugs without the negative side effects. Anthocyanins and quercetin work like magic because they block the COX-1 and COX-2 enzymes, which are the same targets as Inida for persons over 60 who are suffering from chronic inflammation. Cherries provide a great deal of comfort. A study from the University of Michigan should have transformed the way gout is treated. Participants with chronic gout were given only 1 cup of tart cherries per day. In just 2 days or 48 hours, uric acid levels fell by 15%. Over 6 months, there was a 75% reduction in gout incidence. As an example, allopurinol, the typical medication used to treat gout, which has adverse symptoms like severe skin reactions and liver damage, usually reduces attacks by roughly 60%. With no adverse effects, cherries performed better than the medication. But for those over 60, this is where cherries really make a difference. There are up to 13 in cherries. 5. Melatonin nanograms per gram. Our melatonin production declines with age, which explains why so many elderly people experience sleeplessness. The results of giving adults more than 60 tart cherry juice for just 2 weeks were astounding. Every night, sleep time increased by 84 minutes, and a 12% increase in sleep efficiency. That is superior to a lot of prescription sleep aids without the possibility of Reliance or grogginess in the morning. Aim for 8 ounces of tart cherry juice or 20 to 25 cherries per day. While frozen cherries maintain most of their benefits, fresh cherries perform best. If left unsweetened, dried cherries retain some of their beneficial components. To get the most out of your sleep, eat them after dinner. Because cherries easily absorb pesticides, choose organic wherever possible. First up, fruit number 1. Avocados. Avocados defy all fruit conventions, yet being classified as a fruit. They offer ingredients that precisely target age-related decrease, healthy fats that improve nutrition absorption, and almost no sugar. The avocado's monounsaturated fats can up to 15 times improve the absorption of fat-soluble vitamins. This becomes the difference between taking supplements that simply go through your body and truly absorbing the nutrients that keep you healthy after the age of 60, when your digestive efficiency is deteriorating. This was unquestionably demonstrated by a revolutionary study. Participants were given salad with and without avocado by the researchers. Avocado eaters absorbed 13, 4, and 6 times as much beta-carotene, 3 times as much lutein. These nutrients are not insignificant. For immune system and visual support, beta-carotene is converted to vitamin A. On the other hand, lutein guards against cognitive decline and macular degeneration. You're essentially throwing these nutrients that can save lives down the toilet if you don't eat avocados. In relation to lutein, of all the fruits, avocados have the highest concentration. Here's why that's important. Lutein isn't just for eye protection. It builds up in the tissue of your brain, where it maintains cognitive function. An extensive study involving 2,886 persons over 60, the startling reality was exposed. A 25% improvement in general cognitive performance was observed in those who ate 1 avocado each day. Comparing those who ate less than once a week, there was a 28% increase in problem-solving speed and a 31% improvement in working memory. Better neuronal connections and more gray matter density were seen in brain imaging. Avocados did more than simply shield their brains. In actuality, they were creating larger, more interconnected brains. 1 avocado every day is the best course of action here. Here's how to optimize the advantages, though. Distribute it throughout the day. To enhance the absorption of nutrients from the vegetables, mix half into your morning eggs. To enhance the carotenoids from leafy greens, add 1/4 to your lunch salad. The remainder can be sliced on your protein or used as guacamole for dinner. You may also grill avocado or add it to warm recipes because the fat stays stable when heated. Select avocados that give a little under-light pressing. Overripe means too soft. The nutrients haven't fully matured if it's too harsh. Ripe avocados can last up to a week if kept in the refrigerator. Ultimately, The metamorphosis that these fruits may produce is astounding. The outcomes are demonstrated, the science is obvious, and the option is yours. Keep in mind that you may always change your diet to improve your health. We'd like to hear from you now. Have you ever observed a fruit improving or worsening your symptoms? When you started consuming it or quit, what happened? Please leave your thoughts and experiences in the comments section below. We enjoy listening to them. Thank you for viewing.